Welcome back, everyone. Today we're gonna talk about Genesis 1 verse 10. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters he called seas. And God saw that it was good. So in the Zohar, this verse is not merely a geographic or geological statement, but a profound spiritual declaration about identity, purpose, order, and divine balance. So it builds upon the previous verse, on verse 9, where separation and emergence occurred, and now proceeds to naming and affirmation. So first we have God called the dry land earth, in Hebrew eretz. So it's naming as identity. So in the Zohar, naming is always a sacred act, revealing essence, establishing destiny, and conferring function. Eretz, in English earth, is rooted in the Hebrew word radzon. In English means will or desire. The Zohar reads this to mean that the earth, representing stable manifestation, is that which desires to fulfill divine purpose. Dry land symbolizes the manifested world, the domain where spiritual energy is grounded, structured, and becomes fertile for action. By naming it, God gives this domain its unique role in the cosmic order. So the gathering of the waters he called seas, in Hebrew yamim. So it's a multiplicity from unity. Previously, the waters were gathered to one place, but now they are called seas, plural. Why? The Zohar teaches that while divine energy flows from unity, once it enters the lower worlds, it appears divided. The seas represent the varied emotional and spiritual states, the flowing aspects of reality that constantly move and shift. These seas are also reflective of divine mercy, chesed, fluid, generous, and encompassing. Though they appear many, their source is one. The pairing of earth and seas, spiritual polarity and balance. The Zohar emphasizes the duality and harmony between earth and seas. Earth represents firmness, structure, boundaries, a reflection of Geburah, which is divine judgment or strength. Seas represent fluidity, mercy, expansion, a reflection of chesed, divine kindness. Together, they express the balance between stability and flow, structure and movement, discipline and compassion. This duality is a key mystical theme that the divine is one, but manifests as opposites in order to create harmony in the world. Earth and sea are thus not in opposition, but in dynamic complement. Next we have, and God saw that it was good. This is the first good since day one. Day two lacked the phrase, it was good, because it emphasized division without reconciliation. Here in the verse 10, the Zohar rejoices. This is the first time since day one that the divine unity begins to re-emerge. Now, through balanced separation, earth and seas, structure and flow are both given names and rightful domains. The phrase kitov, which means in English it was good, confirms that the boundaries are now serving harmony, not isolation. So the Zoharic symbolism of earth and sea in the soul. So according to the Zohar, the human soul mirrors these elements. The earth represents one's inner stability, will, and capacity for grounded action. The seas symbolize emotions, spiritual currents, and intuitive flows. Spiritual health involves honoring both, having strong roots in the earth, but being emotionally and spiritually open, just like in this case is the seas. So human role bringing divine order into the world. When the Zohar sees God naming and assigning functions to parts of creation, it's not just passive description. Humanity is invited to imitate God. We name, assign meaning, create order in our inner and outer worlds. When we align ourselves with divine harmony, balancing structure and flexibility, we echo this verse in our daily spiritual lives. So in summary, Genesis 1 verse 10, the Zohar reveals that God giving names, earth and seas, is an act of defining essence and spiritual role. Earth symbolizes stability, will, and grounded purpose, while the seas symbolize fluid emotional and spiritual forces. Though appearing as opposites, both emerge from divine unity and reflect the balance of Geburah and Chesed, structure and flow. This is the first time since day one that the term "it was good" is said again, marking the restoration of harmony through rightful separation. The soul mirrors this. We must be both grounded, as in earth, and flowing, as in the term seas. Our role is to live as co-creators, naming, ordering, harmonizing the parts of our inner world, just as God did at the beginning. This verse teaches that true goodness comes not from sameness, but from balance, difference, unified in divine purpose. That's it for today's episode, guys. Thank you for your donation. Be blessed, everyone, and I will see you on the next episode.